Okay, is that live? Yeah, I think we're live now. Had a few problems getting YouTube streaming going. Okay, so I thought it was about time I gave you a development update on 10x, because I realised it's been 7 weeks since the last stream. So what have I been doing in that time? I've been very busy. I put a link in the description for the versions AGGN for the versions website page, so you can see what's been going on. And I just thought I'd highlight a few things because, as I'm sure the regulars on the Discord know, there's been a lot going on, a lot of bug fixes, a lot of minor features added. But I just thought I'd take everyone else through this in case you've missed stuff. Because there's a lot of things here since I did the last stream, and it's easy to miss quite a few little highlights, I think. So as you can see, it does go on and on and on. But that's where we were in the last stream. So as I said, I've been doing mainly bugs. I thought at the end of the last stream, I thought I'd spend maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks just doing some bugs, because I'd done a lot of feature work before then. I thought it's about time I did some bugs and some things people have been asking me for. And obviously 2 weeks turned into 7 weeks and I'm still doing it. But it's all good. Every single one of these makes 10x better. And they all need to be done. So I've just highlighted a few things here. I thought it was worth calling out. But as I'm going through, if you see any things here that you don't know what they mean, do ask me and I'll try and remember. Hang on a minute. Just trying to get the stream chat box back. Okay, we're good. Right. So the vertical ruler lines, it's just a vertical rule here that stops you going over too many columns. So a few people have asked for that, so I thought it'd be worth adding because it's a very simple thing to add. I fixed pinning. So I put pinning in quite a while ago, but I never actually got it working properly. So now it's working properly. And let's open a few files here. So I don't know if you can see on the stream, but you can pin a tab, basically, keeps it on the left. You can pin multiple tabs, and then they will now always stay visible. So even if I open different files, you can see the pinned ones still stay pinned. Now, at the moment, they're just a very slight different color, which is a bit too subtle, really. So I will put an icon in there or something to show that they're pinned. Make it a bit easier to see. But anyway, at least it works now, so that's good. Nested namespaces, yes. This is something I didn't actually realize was in C++ now. So you can do things like that. Which is really good. And yeah, I kind of used that kind of thing in C# and really liked it. And I was always annoyed it wasn't in C++. I don't know when it got added, probably ages ago. But anyway, that's supported by 10x now. So a lot of these things are just nice things to have that just make everything a little bit better, make it a bit easier to use and supporting a few more features. So a lot of these things are just on the GitHub issues bug lists. So I had it open as text. Yeah, that's a nice one. It's very simple, but here you can see you can right click on a solution or a project and do open as text, and then you can actually see the file, the XML. Well, it's not XML, is it? Anyway, the project file or the solution file. And you can do that for 10x workspaces as well. And it's really nice if you're editing them by hand, which obviously we have to do sometimes. So these are just really simple little things which are just really nice to add. because they just make workflow that much better. Parser.Extensions, that's quite a big one. So obviously the parser only supports C++ at the moment, but a lot of things such as shader files can obviously be sort of reasonably well parsed to C++. And what's it called? Parser.Extensions. I don't know if you can see this. So obviously it has all the C++ files, and then you can add in other files that you want to try parsing in C++. I mean, even C# works fairly well as parsing in C++, which you can try if you want. But do keep in mind, if you add things to this list, they're all going to go into the same global namespace as though they're C++ at the moment, which isn't ideal, because sometimes you have, say, a vector class which is defined in your shader and it's defined in C++, and you might go to definition in C++ and might jump to the shader. So it kind of works in some cases, but not in others. So just see how you go. Eventually I'll be adding separate sort of environments for the different languages so they don't conflict like that. But anyway, that's something a lot of people have been asking for forever. And so far, it was hard-coded, but now you can add them yourself. So question, could the user make a C# extension with this? Okay, yeah, so I think I've answered that. I'll come on later to what I'm going to be working on next, which will kind of address other languages. Let's carry on, because we've got quite a few to go through. Optimize large cursor selects. Yeah, there was just a bit of a slowdown when you did the block cursor selections. So now it's, as you can see, it's pretty fast. So you shouldn't see any slowdown at all, because that just wasn't the 10x way, having slowdown in anything. So yeah, that's nice. Color scheme improvements. Yeah, quite a few little things. I won't take you through all of them because there are a lot, but the main one is probably getting the light color scheme working. So there were lots of little things that just didn't work very well in the light color scheme. So it now should be better. The main one was this tree and highlighting and setting the active project wasn't very obvious, things like that. So for those of you who use the light scheme, it should be a lot better now. Let me know if I've missed anything. Oh, there, I missed something. I think that only happens when you switch color schemes sometimes, because I have to go and update everything. Sometimes I've just forgotten to update a few things. Looks like it's the pinned tabs, but everything else seems fine. Yeah, I was surprised how many people use the light color scheme. I've never actually seen hardly anyone use the light color scheme, to be honest, in my career. Must be just a cultural thing. But yeah, so that should be a lot better. I'm trying to think about, I added some other color scheme stuff as well. You know, there are more settings now that you can add. No, not settings. Edit color scheme. Can't remember what I added. Like I said, I think it was mostly just the tree node stuff. And the logo, you can even set the logo color now, this 10x up here. So pretty much I want you to be able to change everything pretty much on it. So, you know, have fun playing with that and creating your own color schemes. Let's take it back to the dock. Fonts. So actually, yeah, this was when someone was getting 10x working on Linux on the Vine. I don't know what you call it. It's not a virtual machine, is it? It's basically redirects all the system function calls, so you can run Win32 apps on Win64 apps on Linux. and apparently it works. I haven't tried it myself, but it works. The one thing that didn't work was it didn't have the default fonts installed, so it crashed. So I thought, okay, I'll make sure I bundle the fonts in with the 10x installer. So now all of the two fonts that it uses, the UI font, this one, and the text editor font, are now bundled with 10x in the data file. So even if you didn't have any fonts installed on your system, it should run, it should work. So that's quite nice. So I'm pleased with that. It makes it more sort of self-contained. I've done a new icon. Probably no one's noticed because it's very similar to the old one so far, but I think it's slightly better. You can see on the website. Still the same font, but I've just made the X uppercase and I've slightly squashed it down to 75%. I think it just looks a little bit better. I probably will rework this again before I release, but I think I'm getting closer to what I like. And the other thing I've done is I've updated the icons as well. I realized there was a bug in my icon creator tool, and it was scaling. In some cases, it was scaling the icon. It made it look really horrible, nasty. I'm sure you noticed. So now I've redone the icon using this new logo, and it should be pixel perfect in whatever size, multiple different sizes of the icon, obviously. And I've also made the 10x notepad a different color, so it's now blue, and the main 10x one is green, just so you can tell the difference. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, there were quite a few problems of hang on a minute. Sorry, my monitor is playing up again. There we go, we're back. So when the window gets smaller, and obviously if you're not hiding the menu, it's kind of hard to drag it because there's nowhere to drag it from. It's a bit squashed up. But now if you long click anywhere, you can drag it like that. Let's get rid of that. So that's something you might not realize, but it's a kind of useful thing. If say you're not hiding the menu, you can just long click on the menu and then drag the window. And you can do that anywhere, even in there. So it's just, again, another nice little usability feature, or UX as they now call it. Right. Defined out brightness. This is something quite a few people have asked for. So when you've got code which is defined out, let's try and find some. It's not a really good one. Basically, it sets the brightness. If it's defined out, it does it to like 70% brightness or something. You can now set that and set it to 1 if you don't want any graying out of it. Some people like it, some people don't, but now you can set it for yourself. And that's in the settings rather than in the color schemes. Okay, so this one, orange, so it's an important one. Complex statements in defines. Yeah, this was quite a biggie. It's one that I thought would take a long time to do. I'll just show you what I mean by that. Let's just take a random file. So obviously, as you know, you can do things like you can do arithmetic and stuff like that. You can have complex statements. which only get defined in like that. So you can, this is, the preprocessor is kind of general language in a way, and it should have a proper sort of parser for it. And 10x never did, and I just kind of hacked something together which worked in some cases, but not all. Now I've made it much better. It's more of a general parser. It's still not a complete sort of parser, and it's probably not correct in every case. But to be honest, most people, I don't think, use the full language features in preprocessor defines. So it should cover like 90% of the cases. But let me know if there's anything it doesn't seem to work with, and I'm sure I can add it. If we've got time today, I might take you through that code because it's quite an interesting little parser. I ended up doing it in just a few hundred lines of code when I realized I could use recursion. So that should help a lot in some code bases that use statements such as that. Yeah, but like I said, do let me know if I've missed anything on that. So yeah, I'll go through that in a minute if I've got time. So there have been a lot of fixes to Unreal parsing. So it should pick up the right defines now, such as with editor define and things like that. It's a very complex build system they've got. So it's a complex build system they've got. So it still probably needs some work, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. So you should see a lot of stuff parsing more correctly now. Function pointers, yes, this is something a lot of people have been asking for a long time. Why can I never remember the function pointer syntax? There we go. So you can use them in typedefs, and you can also use them in function args as well. So as you can see, the go-to definition works on that. Yeah. The one thing I haven't done yet is the args. If you're passing in, args like that, it doesn't show you the box like it does when you do a function. It doesn't do that yet. So hopefully at some point I'll do that. But anyway, it should be. I usually have that feature turned off. It should be a lot better now. And at least go-to definition will work on it. So what's this? Added tab mode indicator text box to status bar. Oh, tab mode, yes. So as you can hopefully see down here, there is now a tabs text. So previously the tab mode was set in the settings. It used to be called tab mode, it's now called indent mode. So you may need to update that if it's not what you want. And it was in the settings, so it's just a global setting for everything. But a lot of people find that they need different settings per workspace or different settings per file. So now it's actually a per file setting, and it will show you for each file down here, it will show you whether it's tabs or spaces, and you can just click on it and change it to spaces if you want. Click back. So it's a very easy way, and 10x will remember the setting for each individual file. So hopefully that's useful for you. The other thing, which I've got on here somewhere, is you now have settings per workspace. So for example, in the workspace folder, if you create a 10x.10x settings file, then you can add, say, a different indent mode. you can add a different indent mode for a particular workspace or project. And it's something a lot of people have been asking for. And you can add any setting you like. It's not just for indent mode. So you might have one project that uses spaces and one that uses tabs, and now you can easily set it differently. Okay, let's move on. I've done some PS5 fixes for building projects. Obviously, I can't talk about that too much unless you're Sony dev, but hopefully you'll find that useful. Let me know if you've got any questions on that, or if anything isn't working correctly. Oh yeah, settings by workspace, which I've just talked about. More PS4 stuff. Lots of crash fixes, which is good. There aren't that many crashes anymore, which is really nice. So the telemetry quickly. So as you can see, the user count recently has gone up, but the crashes are actually, there are fewer crashes now, which is the way round you want it, which is good. So gradually I'm knocking those on the head, and 10x is much more stable. I think we're getting close to the end now. I think that may well be it. Oh, in the last few days I've added function args for macros, which I mean... Oh no, it's not working. Oh, I don't think I'm on the latest build. Well, that's not good. I'll have to fix that in a minute. So basically, like for a function, obviously it shows you the it will show you the arguments for it when you open the bracket, and it'll now do the same once I fixed it for macros as well. And the other thing I've added is autocomplete for macros now. Oh, well that's not working either. Okay, looks like both those things aren't working. That's a good test. I'll go away and fix those. But anyway, that should be done. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything I was gonna take you through. Let me know if you've got any questions on any of that. See if there's anything else. As you can see, I've done a lot in the last 7 weeks. And I think next week I'm going to stop doing bugs unless there are any serious ones come up, and go back to my last main feature that I've got to do, which is general syntax highlighting. So by that I mean syntax highlighting for any language, and a general system where you can create your own file for languages, and so you can add support for languages yourself. I mean, I'm going to add quite a few languages, hopefully, just to test the system, but if you need syntax highlighting for a particular shaded file or a different language or whatever, then you'll be able to add it, hopefully. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but it's hopefully going to be a very simple but general system that will make it easier for you to add any support you want. I'm hoping that won't take more than a couple of weeks, but then my couple of weeks often turn into 7 weeks, but we'll see. I mean, this is the last, like I said, the last major feature I'm going to probably do before releasing 10x, before going to version 1.0, which is very exciting. So once I've done that, then it's just going to be bugs, and then I release. Although probably it's going to be more like that. On and on, bugs. But hopefully no more major features. But that's not to say I don't want to know if you've got suggestions. Still keep sending me stuff on obviously Discord if you're a subscriber, or on the GitHub issues page. And obviously if there's any crash bugs, I'll work on those straight away like normal. So yes, hopefully next week I'm gonna get down to that, and I'm quite looking forward to it because it should be a fairly easy task. One of the more easy sort of big tasks I've done. Okay, a question about indentation. Is it possible to set indentation via the Python API? Okay, nice way to sort things like editor config. Yeah, that's a good point actually. I can't remember if I added... Did I add a way of doing the settings from Python? I think I did. Set settings file name. Set setting, yes, you can do get setting and set setting from Python. So yes, you can set the indent mode by doing that. You just give it a name and a value, a string, both strings. Yeah, let me know if you ever need anything added to Python because it's super easy. These are all the functions I've added, and it's very easy to add more. I just need to know what people want. But yeah, it's getting quite a few already. So yeah, I think I'm not going to go through code this time. Keep it short today. Maybe I'll go through that next time because I was going to show you the preprocessor parser, which is quite interesting. But I'll leave that till next time, I think. So unless anyone's got any questions, I think I'll call that a day. And as always, if you like what I'm doing, please support me. It really does help. And you get access to the Discord, where you can bug me every day with new features and bugs, which is great. So thanks to everyone that does subscribe, as always, and I'll see you again next time. So take care.